Hello, everyone. I warmly welcome all of you. In the fourth installment of our series exploring the Norse or Scandinavian mythology, we are dealing with the mightiest god, Odin, and his attributes. Why is Odin the king of the gods? Why did people respect and fear him most among all the gods? It's important to understand that the reverence for the Scandinavian gods was greatly influenced by the fact that these gods were not perfect. They often lied, made mistakes, made poor decisions, and importantly, they also made sacrifices. Are these bad things? Not at all. These characteristics shaped them into entities that increasingly deserved the respect of the people because they had many human characteristics. Odin, the Allfather, was the most powerful of all the gods. However, as I mentioned in the previous part, power came at a cost. Even before the War of the Aesir and the Vanir, when Mimir was still alive, Odin sought him out. Mimir was the guardian of memories, whose knowledge was immense. When he was young, he drank every morning from a spring, which is located in Jotunheim, the world of the giants, and is called Mimir's Well. The wise god had a horn, the Gjallarhorn, from which he drank. Odin risked his life when he went to the land of the giants, seeking nothing more than a sip of wisdom. However, no one other than Mimir could drink from the spring. But Odin persisted and told Mimir to name his price. Tell him what wisdom costs. Mimir asked for his eye in return. He wanted Odin's eye to be in the water of the spring. The Allfather, who had already put himself in great danger just by going there, was willing to do even more. So, he replied to Mimir, "Give me a knife." Odin took it upon himself, dug out his own eye, and threw it into the spring water. Unfortunately, we don't know which eye he gave, although it is generally accepted that he lost his right eye. Odin filled the horn, the Gjallarhorn, and drank from the water of wisdom. In the process, it happened that suddenly, with one eye, he saw more clearly than he ever had with two. Odin's eye is still in Mimir's well, right next to Mimir's head, which of course got there later, as we discussed in the previous part. I would like to add here that this horn, the Gjallarhorn, will be very important in the future. For when it is blown, Ragnarok, the end of the universe, arrives. So this was the price of Odin's wisdom. His own suffering. Odin gave his eye for wisdom. Sometimes I feel the same way when I grope towards my coffee maker in the morning. The difference being that I love my coffee much more than Odin loved his eye. Certainly, the price was steep. However, there was a hitch. Odin saw so clearly that he foresaw his own demise. The Allfather, the king of the gods, was afraid. He decided that this wisdom was not enough. He would be the one to confront his own destiny. So, he went to Yggdrasil, the world tree. He took his spear and ran himself through. Once that was done, he took a rope and hanged himself from Yggdrasil, the world tree. Odin hung for 9 days, hanged and impaled. According to the poetic Edda, the Allfather's lifelight was fading. However, we could say that a miracle happened. As a result of his sacrifice, at the climax of his death agony, the wisdom of the runes was revealed to him. He came to know and finally understand them, their power, their message, their strength. At this point, the rope broke, and Odin survived. Now, he understood enchantments and magic and was able to control the world. Odin, the Allfather, the Lord of the slain and the God of the gallows, gave his own suffering in exchange for the longed-for wisdom. But what is a rune? The runic alphabet refers to the letters of the ancient Germans' writing system. The Scandinavian tribes believed that Odin gave the runes to the world. The truth is that they actually originated from the letters of the Latin alphabet. The ancient Germanic runic alphabet is known based on its first 6 letters, the Futhark. Runes are not just simple letters, they are symbols, each with its own semantic, magical name. Runes were most commonly used to write messages to the dead. After the conversion of the Scandinavians to Christianity, the runic script fell into oblivion. Odin now possessed all knowledge, wisdom, the knowledge of magic, and although he foresaw his own death, he could not avoid it. In my opinion, in certain cases, true wisdom lies in acknowledging that we don't need an answer to everything, and we don't aspire to know it all. But for the universe, this was beneficial, as the god who controlled the world had such immense knowledge. Odin's personality received much attention. He is often depicted as a kind-hearted spirit, a benign god, a wise old man who always says wise things. And in some ways, that's true. The Allfather is the only god with 2 halls in Asgard. One is Valhalla, which we will talk about in the next part, and the other is Hlidskjalf, a kind of lookout. There's a throne here, where Odin watches the world's events sitting down. Although he only has 1 eye, he sees more clearly with it than he ever did with 2. But overseeing the 9 worlds is a difficult task. He is aided in this by 2 ravens, Huginn and Muninn. Huginn symbolizes thought, Muninn memory. They form the mind of Odin. Their task is to visit all 9 worlds every dawn and report on events in the evening. So it happened that Odin knew about everything that happened in the 9 worlds. His relationship with humans was also special. He thought that he could get a realistic conception of the world from humans. So he often visited the realm of humans, Midgard, in human form. He appears as a tall man, wearing a hat and a cloak. The sole purpose of his visit is to understand how we humans see the world. The Allfather also has 2 wolves, who are symbols of his less kindly side, but we'll talk about that in relation to Valhalla. In summary, Odin, the Allfather, one of those who created the world, longed for wisdom, which he got at the cost of 1 eye. He saw so clearly that he foresaw his own death, so he decided to confront his fate and try to change his destiny. To this end, he went to the world tree. Yggdrasil stabbed himself with a spear, then hung himself on the tree. He hung for 9 days, and at the end of the 9th day, already in the shadow of his death, he suddenly became aware of and revealed the power of magic, spells, and runes. Odin, the Allfather, became the most powerful of the gods at the cost of great suffering. And that's just the surface, for Odin is a mighty and legendary warrior. If you're curious why the Vikings desired Valhalla so much, and what exactly Valhalla is, and who goes there, we'll discuss that in the next part. What lessons would you draw from Odin's story? Share your opinion in the comments. Thank you very much for your attention and for staying with me. See you next time. Goodbye.